I am thrilled to introduce you to an exciting new storybook journey that I believe will capture your imagination. Allow me to present Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure, a compelling short story that promises to transport you to a world of interest, excitement, and learning. The title of the book is Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure by Chandler Hayes. In a world of colorful imagination and captivating stories, a new children's book has emerged to empower our young minds with crucial life lessons, life skills, and financial literacy. Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure is a cheering short story written by a talented Black author who understands the importance of equipping our youth in the early stages of life with the tools they need to navigate the realm of money, savings, and smart choices. Meet Langston Mankson and his imaginary best friend, Zonky, a pink elephant, two curious souls who embark on an adventure around the vibrant landscape of Wichita, Kansas, where Langston Mankson sets out to accomplish multiple goals and is met with obstacles that he must overcome. Langston Mankson and Zonky discover valuable lessons of talking about finances in the home in order to gain knowledge. Langston Mankson, with a little bit of confidence, the guidance of supportive parents, the help of community members like Mr. Tiller, and his imaginary best friend Zonky, Langston Mankson learns about the value of money and how to save, the importance of making thoughtful spending decisions, the significance of thinking outside the box when met with challenges with money, and the joys of sharing with others. Through relatable experiences and engaging storytelling, young readers are introduced to the fundamental concepts of money, such as earning, saving, and spending responsibly. Langston Mankson set savings goals, teaching children the importance of planning for future needs and dreams. The book celebrates diversity and the different perspectives on money, shedding light on its role in different people's lives. The characters' interactions emphasize the joys of serving others, the gift of sharing, and making a positive impact in their community. The pages of Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure come to life with vibrant illustrations. The colorful and imaginative visuals not only captivate young readers, but also enhance their understanding of complex financial concepts. Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure is coming soon to bookstores and online realtors. It is a must-have addition to any child's library, fostering essential life skills while sparking the joy of reading. Empower the young minds in your life with the gift of financial literacy and imagination. Join Langston Mankson, Zonky, family, and friends on their extraordinary journey of running a drink stand to set them on the path of a brighter future. Your opinion means a great deal to me. I would be honored if you would consider exploring Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure and sharing your thoughts. Your feedback could play an invaluable role in shaping the future of this project. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to discuss the book further, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Your support in spreading the word about Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure would mean the world to me, and I deeply appreciate your consideration. I am a passionate advocate for financial literacy. Me, Chandler Hayes, and am excited to join the community of storytellers. With a background in finances, I am driven to inspire children to embark on their own adventures of learning and discovery through the power of literature. Langston Mankson's Coolamade Stand Adventure is a heartfelt endeavor to promote financial literacy in a fun and accessible way. As a Black author, I'm committed to providing children of all backgrounds with the tools for success, and I am proud to contribute to a more financially informed generation. Thank you for taking the time to explore this advertisement, and I look forward to the possibility of sharing this extraordinary literature adventure with you. Please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at the email c287gph@gmail.com. All right, thank you. Warmest regards. Have a great day. God bless. Yo, what's going on? Shaman House of Barf was popping. All right. Just did previous episode. I guess quasi I'm getting season 2 started. Don't really have anything prepared. Just been kind of waiting on the right time to do it. Considering that got a lot going on. Also with a whole lot going on, and I don't think I explained it too well, but I have, well, first, let me start off by saying thank you to anybody and everybody who decided to stop by and kick it with your mans. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Of even listening for 10 seconds, so 1 second, I really do appreciate it, and sharing it with anybody. I appreciate it. But yeah, so didn't really get into it, but I actually registered House of Barf. Again, it's a entertainment slash coaching therapy company. There's 2 branches of it right now. It's under one roof, but there's kind of like 2 branches. The entertainment is the conversations I'm having here with my people. And then there's going to be the coaching side, where I more so have people on individual basis or in small groups, however it works out. I haven't even got started yet. And we just kind of just sit around and we kind of just try to talk and figure out where we at in our heads. And possibly through that, relieving some of that stress, that we can actually make good, sound decisions, compared to throwing our hands up in the air and just saying, fuck it, I can't stand having all this credit card debt, so I'm just going to take all the money out of my savings account and just get rid of it. Yes, we got to get the debt down, you know what I'm saying? But we are, when people say don't take it personal, well, it's kind of hard. We're persons, it's kind of hard not to take things personal. It's kind of like, I don't understand why people say, oh man, that guy was being a dick. Oh, I mean, he was born with the dick, so I mean, he's going to kind of act like that, or whatever, telling women stop being a pussy. Well, I mean, that's kind of hard, considering, unless how we go. But for the most part, I mean, we're going to be emotional. We're going to be taking things personal. I mean, we're emotional, organic beings. That's the whole reason why they're trying to get us out of there and getting AI in. Because guess what? Cheryl got pregnant 4 times this year. Didn't even know that was possible. She been on leave for a year. AI ain't gonna get pregnant. Such and such is coming to work every day late. All that shit. Can you believe that they cut they cut it in a circle and it was supposed to be cut in an oval? So that's why they're kind of saying, we're going to kind of squeeze out humans. And guess what? We're going to get rid of all humans, right? Well, that's how they're going to make it sound. This isn't a woman thing. This isn't a man thing. This isn't a black thing. This isn't a white thing, a Hispanic thing, whatever thing. We're just going to get rid of everyone. 80% of the human resources we're going to get rid of, and we're bringing in AI. Well, one thing is, we all got to realize, when we take approaches like this, especially in huge 80%, cutting out huge chunks like that, you got to realize that's going to come back and bite us in the ass one day. And then we're going to see the value of, oh, this is why we actually have humans as our resource compared to AI. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to come up. I've been discussing creating algorithms and whatnot for the stock market. We all want to take out the emotion in the investing, and we just want to make it strictly robotic. Well, robots might not take in certain sentiment. And that's why people have to keep putting more parameters and more stuff in it all the time, constantly. Because, I mean, let's say, for example, hey, make me the richest person in the world. And the robot says, sure. Well, hey, I didn't mean for you to, kill my wife, or I'm kidding. But, you just, there's certain things that the AI may do so you got to set those parameters to an extent to kind of make it human. Hey, we got emotional shit going on. We can't just go around creating poverty so that I can be the richest motherfucker alive. So we set those parameters. We try to make it more human like in order so that we can have more. We don't even have to call it emotion because it's AI now. They can call it sentiment or something or whatever you want to call it. Um, just got a whole lot going on. So wasn't really sure when the right time was to go ahead and get the podcast back started. Considering that I have registered House of Barf as also a coaching and therapy company, I have very briefly, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. I've had a few people who've wanted to stop by and just kind of receive coaching. Now, when somebody receives coaching, they don't just receive coaching once. If they like it, they like the program. They need coaching 24 hours a day. And you got to be available, and not only be available, I got to be up on my information. Hey, did you see what happened to Google? Yes, I did. It dropped 9%. Earnings did not come out the way it was. I don't know why Google's earnings didn't come out. What the hell did Google do? And thank kind of goodness that, well, I could have had a short on it. That would have been cool. But let me see. Google. Google ticker. What in the world happened to it? Was it 9%? Let me see. Over the last 5 days. Yeah, 9.5% over the last 5 days. Good Lord. Might be a good opportunity to buy. What happened? Google. Let's go to our favorite news, CNBC. Let's see. Let me see what in the world. I mean, I know it probably has something to do with earnings. But what did happen? Personal information search commits to invest $2 billion in OpenAI. AI is the answer for everything these days. Let me just kind of see their earnings. Google reported third quarter 2023 earnings of $1.55 per share on 10/24/2023. This beat the $1.45 consensus of the 37 analysts covering the company. Okay, that makes complete sense. So they beat their earnings. And what? I'm just going to go ahead and just have to put in the basic. What happened to Google stock? Okay, here we go. Tech as a whole. Tech stocks suffered 2-day sell-off as investors find wrinkle or two in Alphabet Meta earnings. So what was the... here, let me go ahead and let AI take over. Oh, gosh, where's my read aloud tool? This stuff is annoying. All right, I'll read a little bit, then I got to get this read aloud tool so it can be read properly. Alphabet's earnings sailed past Wall Street estimates after the markets closed on Tuesday. Meta followed suit on Wednesday, solidly topping expectations. It didn't matter. Following better than expected results on the top and bottom lines from two of the most valuable tech companies in the world, the Nasdaq responded by dropping roughly 3% over 2 days. Okay, I'm skipping, skip a few. In Alphabet's earnings report, Wall Street fretted over the numbers out of the Google Cloud division, which is investing heavily to try and catch Amazon, Microsoft particularly. When it comes to managing hefty artificial intelligence workloads, the Cloud Group reported $8.41 billion in quarterly revenue, missing analyst estimates of $8.64. What? This person reported $8.41 billion and missed by, I don't know, what's that, 20 million? And we got a problem with this? According to the LSEG, formerly known as Refinitiv, Ruth Portrait, I don't even know what Refinitiv is. Let me see what Refinitiv is. Search Google for Refinitiv. Refinitiv is an American-British global provider of financial market data and infrastructure. The company was founded in 2018 as a subsidiary of Thomson Reuters, which then sold a 55% stake of Blackstone Group LP in August in 2018. Wikipedia. Okay, so these people pretty much provide financial market data and whatnot. All right. Ruth Ported, Alphabet's financial chief, told analysts that the numbers reflect the impact of customer optimization efforts, a phrase that generally refers to clients reeling in their spending. I wouldn't say optimization necessarily means reeling in spending, but I could see how people could take that approach. Is if you want to get your finances together, what are you typically going to do first? You're typically going to start trying to save or slow down spending. I get that as well. There's multiple approaches. Optimization is kind of, it's basically just optimizing. So, but I can understand. Slow down spending can help optimize your money. Absolutely, I can understand that. The concern from Facebook parent Meta was sparked by comments that the CFO, Susan Li, provided on the earnings call regarding the advertising market in the fourth quarter. Due to the escalating conflict in the Middle East and uncertainty about how it will affect ad spending, Meta provided a wider revenue guidance range than normal, Lee said. Wow. Okay. Wow. When I say that, when we talk about things like sharks in the guppy pool, in the guppy tank, I mean, that's just crazy. These people, I mean, they didn't even just talk about the war in the Middle East. You know, like, hey, man, it's just not a good time. There's a lot of war going on. They're like, Meta, we don't know how this is going to affect advertising. It's very possible that whoever they advertise to around the world may say, hey, we're kind of cutting back on y'all. You know, for what happened recently? Crap. I mean, this has been happening a lot. America's been kind of slowing down, or I guess how they would say, optimizing their relationships around the world. China is increasing their relationship, at least in the wine industry, with Australia, I believe, which if I knew how to buy a commodity on grapes, I would, because I'm assuming that Australia, what is Australian wine? Is it Shiraz? Something like that? I can't remember. Whew, can you imagine how many drunk Chinese people there's about to be with all that wine Australia's about to provide? Australia's gonna be caking. I mean, come on. They're going to be on serving 1 billion people. Not saying everybody in China drinks, but, I mean, damn. Even if you get a smaller, what is it? Mark Cuban says, do you want 100% of grape or 10% of a watermelon? Like, I mean, if you can get a small percentage of that population to get on Australia wine, I mean, the sale of grapes are going to go crazy. I got to figure out, y'all want to do that with me real quick? Like, how can I commoditize, or I don't know, grapes. So essentially, here, let me see something about NVIDIA. Up to this point, 2023 has been a bounce back year for mega cap tech after a brutal 2022. Meta is the second best performing stock in the S&P 500, beyond only AI chip maker NVIDIA, up roughly 140% for the year. Compared to the Nasdaq's 21% gain, Alphabet has jumped 39%, and Amazon has gained 42%. All right, so that's what was going on. People are just concerned about ads, spending a lot of tension in the Middle East. Not a lot of tension. It's very sad what's going on in the Middle East between the Hamas and the Palestinians. Been doing a lot of research on it. I'm kind of just understanding this stuff has been going on for 10,000 years. Doesn't mean that it's any better. It's just a sad story to see two families going at it because I don't know, someone's dad cheated on their mom and had a baby, and now the brothers and sisters have been fighting for 10,000 years. It's like goodness gracious, people. What was I just about to look up? Oh, yes. How, and a lot of these things are getting on my nerves on like eligibility and whatever. Like, I may not even be able to purchase a commodity because I'm broke. Let me go ahead and see how can I purchase a commodity. How can I purchase a commodity? Okay, Trade Station looks like. I mean, I know I can, I can even do it through my broker. It's just right now, with eligibility, I can't do shit except basically a covered call. Um, Let me see. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to my brokerage company, and let me just see if they even have the option for grapes. Can I buy a commodity in grapes? Oh, how to purchase grapes? Oh, the grapes aren't a commodity. Let me see. Oh wow. Hmm. And this is just Quora. I don't know. It's just okay. Fungibility. One of the key components of a tradable commodity is fungible. Real quick, fungible just basically means that anywhere you go, could it be used as uh, could you? I don't know how to describe it. Here, let me just pull it up. Like gold. Gold is very fungible. It's accepted everywhere. So let me see real quick. Fungible. Of a product or commodity replaced by another identical item. Mutually interchangeable. In economics, fungibility is the property of a good or a commodity whose individual units are essentially interchangeable, and each of whose parts are indistinguishable from any other part. Fungible tokens can be exchanged or replaced. For example, a $100 bill can easily be exchanged for $25 bills. So, how fungible is this? How interchangeable is it? So, what this person is saying on Quora um, is grapes are not fungible. A bar of gold. Oh, see right here. A bar of gold. It doesn't matter where it came from. A barrel of crude. Grapes are not like that. Crappy grapes are not interchangeable with high quality grapes from Italy or France. Okay. So they're not fungible. That's why they're not traded as a commodity. So I'm going to just log in real quick, and I just want to see what commodities are out there. And then on the other note, I still want to invest in Australian. I'm sorry, I need something to set my phone up on, so I don't have to hold it. Uh, what Australian wine brands are selling to China? All right. From Austria to China. Is it Austria? I thought it was Australian. Austrian. No way. Let me see. I promise it was Australia. Let me see. I saw it on CNBC, I believe. CNBC, Australian. Is it Austria? I don't think it was Austria. Australian wine to China. Okay, let me see right here. This just caught my attention. Who's this? Lee McLean. Australian grape and wine. Australian wine producers cannot expect full restoration of China demand, Trade Association says. Okay, so Chinese demand may not be as high in Australian wine, but I think this might be a good idea. China's tariffs have slashed value on Australian wine exports to China by about 98%, says Lee McLean, chief executive of Australian Grape and Wine. Okay, Australian Grape and Wine. Let me see that. So, Chinese have had tariffs on Australian wine. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Why did we fall down? Why did China put tariffs on Australian wine? What's that about? This is Bloomberg, China imposed steep tariffs on Australian wine in 2020 as a diplomatic relationship between the nations soured, with trade in other commodities such as coal and seafood also affected. Okay, so they started beefing, and they said, you know what? You want to send your wine over here? You're gonna pay for it. Well, China's going through a lot of shit, and they're probably saying like, look, okay, we need to start taking some of these tariffs of all these companies that we got tariffs on, and one of them is the Australian wine companies. So I mean, let me see. What is this? AFR.com. The 2018 percent tax imposed on most Australian wine was part of a suite of restrictions that China introduced after Australia called for an inquiry into the origins of COVID in 2020. Ooh, I'd say fuck you too, man. Uh, that that was so messed up, man. China slaps up to 200% tariffs on Australian wine. BBC. Uh, man. See that basically, they, from what I just saw, they kind of called China niggers. You know, that whole Wuhan flu. Oh gosh. So China was like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna call me, and I don't know much about Australians a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Shit. What is the capital of Australia? The capital of Australia. Canberra. Okay. It's Canberra. Now, I don't know their population. Let me see. Australia's demographics. Because I don't want to invest in anybody who's racist, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll invest in, like, maybe having a conversation. Oh, crap. Who is this? Bill collector. Yeah, I'll get him back one day. Australia. Having trouble spelling Australia. Australia. Thank you. All right, Australia. Gosh darn it. What is going on, man? And why is my spell check not working? This is pissing me off. Australia demographics by race. All right. I wish my read aloud tool would freaking work. There's about 25.8, I believe. Was that million people there? Is that it? The percentage of ethnicities that are referred to as European are white. They got the same thing going on. Black and African American. They're white and European ancestry. Okay. The population of white is approximately 80. Is this correct? Study.com. Unique ethnic. About 85 to 90% of the population identifies as ethnically white, but that is not actually a compilation of several ethnic categories. Okay. So about 85. So they could be racist as hell. I'm not generalizing, or anything. But if you got a population that's 80% white, they're chilling. They're very comfortable and they're majority white. So when things like Chinese people, I'm sorry, not Chinese people. When things like COVID came around and people are just saying, oh, it came from China. I guess Australia decided that they kind of wanted to essentially pull back on China. Just say, hey, oh no, we don't want to go to China. We hear you guys got COVID. People were talking about, man, it was proven that it came from a city called Wuhan and whatnot. And I'm like, man, I don't want to get into all that because it's really seriously, there was a period of time, I'm not even sure if it's going on. It was Asian hate. I just learned the term xenophobia, where essentially you just hate Asian people. And when things were going on with that whole Wuhan, people were just, they supposedly Asian people didn't matter what age, race, gender, or whatever, they were punching you in the face. So, and using old shit like go back to your country. And this is the worst part. I don't believe it was just black people. but they kept showing videos of black people doing it. I was like, come on, man, that's bullshit. I just can't accept it. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong, but I seen a couple black guys beating people up on trains. They said because they were Asian or whatnot. I was like, yo, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's madness. I'm a little hesitant to fool Australians on that note, knowing that they may have said, we're going to pull back off of China right now until we figure out where did this virus actually come from. And, people try to make great decisions and you get hit with a big ass tariff.
Across Australia, China at the time was by far our biggest market. We were exporting upwards of $1.2 billion worth of wine each year to China at its peak. Today, we're exporting just over $8 million worth of wine. So it's something like a 98 or a 99% reduction in that value over a couple of year period, which is an enormous shock to our sector. And that's been pretty difficult to deal with for grape growers and winemakers in many parts of the country.
And like you mentioned, obviously having to find other export markets, how successful has that been over the next couple of years? Because I would imagine that, with potentially some
this
of
guy looks stressed.
Mean we're going to get straight back to the $2 billion.
No, that's exactly right. So I think we are very mindful of the fact that the market in China has changed somewhat over the last couple of years. Of course, given the fact that we've been out of the market for a couple of years means that other producer nations have been able to take some of that market share that we captured, which is understandable. But also the Chinese market itself has changed. People are probably drinking a little bit less wine in terms of volume, and they're looking for more value in the sort of premium end of the segment. So that's part of the reason that we need to really keep the focus on diversifying our market access opportunities. We've been working very hard in regions like South.
Man, this guy looks stressed. What's his name? Lee McLean. I mean, hopefully you learn your lesson, man. You don't. Certain things you just don't go around saying to people, or trying to group think. People just start group thinking. Oh yeah, blah blah blah, and then now they're like, man, trying to baby come back. I mean, they lost. I think he said what they lose like 80-90%.
Asia, Japan and Korea, difficult period for a number of grape growers and winemakers across Australia. China at the time was by far our biggest market. We were exporting upwards of $1.2 billion worth of wine each year to China at its peak. Today, we're exporting just over $8 million worth of wine. So it's something like a 98 or a 99%.
Good Lord. He said 1.8 billion to like 8 million. It's like a 90, what do you say, 90?
Reduction in that value with the wine each year to China at its peak. Today, we're at the time was by far our biggest market. We were exporting upwards of $1.2 billion worth of wine each year to China at its peak. Today, we're exporting just over $8 million worth of wine. So it's something like a 98 or a 99% reduction in that value over a couple of year period, which is an enormous shock to our sector. And that's been pretty difficult to deal with for grape growers and winemakers in many parts of the country.
Oh my goodness. Gosh. What? I gotta look up one more thing, man. I gotta look up what did Australia. I'm trying to set this phone up. I don't have. I just want to take a little bit more look at this because I mean seriously, you kind of want. Look, I know we got to figure out how to approach this. I mean, if Australia is going to just ruin relationships like that. Let me see. Why did China put tariffs on Australian wine? I just want to look this back up. So other commodities were soaring, such as coal and seafood were affected. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It imposed a punitive tariff. What is punitive? Let me see what that is. Punitive. A very high tax that a government puts on imports in order to protect its own country's manufacturers. Okay. So it wanted to protect its own manufacturers. It had a great relationship with Australia. I just want to see something real quick. gosh, darn it, all these advertisements. In April 2020, Australia's Prime Minister at the time, Scott Morrison, called for an independent investigation into the origin of COVID-19. Beijing was furious, denouncing political games. Damn it! Meant to assign blame for the pandemic. In response, China unleashed its overwhelming economic might. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sorry. Essentially, all I'm hearing is bullying. You know, and some of these, man, you know when a kid at your school is getting bullied by a group of kids, and it just like they put a name out there. They just say a name. I don't know what they I don't know. They call him Squirtle. Hey, look at Squirtle. You know, based on, I don't know, some random thing that happened. The kid had to run out the class, grabbing his butt, had to go to the bathroom. Everybody starts laughing, calls him Squirtle. You know, and next thing you know, the name gets around. More people are calling him Squirtle, and before you know it, you're calling them Squirtle. You're like, hey, what's up, Squirtle? Now this person's being bullied, and it's bullying, you know, and that's essentially Australia. I feel like probably kind of got in the mix. We want to see your birth certificate. We want to see your taxes. We want to know the origin. And Beijing said, you know what? You know what I'm saying? It's like having a best friend, you know, let's just say, you know, you're black, African, whatever, and you got a best friend, and one day they decide that they want to call you a racial slur to your face. I mean, that relationship, I mean, you're just like, yo, I can't believe that. Or even if it's not them, let's just say it's their father or something. You just heard them one day, you're coming up to the house, the windows are open, you hear the dad drop an N-bomb. He says there's going to be a nuclear war. I'm kidding. He drops a racial slur, you know. And even though it wasn't your friend, you may just say like, yo, I didn't know, man. This messed up. And it could mess up the relationship. Honestly, something like that, to an extent, I don't know if you can ever come back from that. I mean, you know, we can all get over things and give people multiple chances, and it helps us grow. You know, so I guess the question is, can we expect not a full restoration? Because again, it's just not going to, you know, be there. You know, or if you call a woman out of her name, you know, y'all may stay together, but there's always that stigma. I always kind of think of Lady and the Tramp when the first time I think Lady got hit with a newspaper, you know, because the family had a brand new baby, and they just didn't have time for Lady as much anymore. And Lady was like, oh, I want to play. And she's trying to go outside, and they're like, Lady, give us a break. Lady, 1 second. Lady, can you back up? And then one of the people pulled out a newspaper and popped Lady on the nose. And she was like, oh my gosh. And she ran out of the house and hooked up with some other dogs. And they're like, what happened? She's like, my owner hit me. Well, you know, and it's like, yeah, that's nothing, you know, but for that, it's like a shock. It's like, yeah, you know, but can we get past it? Of course, we can get past it, but it's sometimes to an extent, it's never going to be the same, you know, and that's okay. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is something I'm looking into. We got a guy named Don Farrell, Australians Men of Trade and Tourism. Let me see what he's going to say about this whole China-Australian wine thing.
It challenged us.
Because it's just maybe a good opportunity. Let me see if I can look up an Australian, what was it, what, grape and wine? Let me see if they got a ticker. And there might be an ADR or something. Investing in Australian wine shares. What wine companies are publicly traded? Good drinks. Let me see. So the Australian Wine Company, I mean, that's tremendous. I don't even know if this is a good opportunity anymore. Uh, that is tremendous. To go from 1.2 billion with any company. And that's why, to an extent, you got to go hard and you can't always diversify. But when you see it like that, it's kind of like, ooh, maybe we should have diversified over those years. We you never want to just get rich off one person. What's another way? You kind of don't want to sit there and say the same, say different things to the same person, or do different things with the same person. You're over here, oh, we got this one, we got that one, we got this liquor, we got this, we got that, we got boom, 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 boom. With one person, you kind of want to, don't take this as advice, say the same thing to different people. Okay, take your pitch, whatever you're selling, and go to different people and just kind of spread it out. Now, I know how business probably works when you get up to, that level, 1.8 billion. You don't want this person, saying, nah, you know what? I'm going to give you that much, and then I'm going to give you that much, and I'm going to give them that much. And it's going to be like, no, I want 1.8, I want 1.2 billion. You're going to supply me, and whatever you have left, you'll give to them. It's going to be, well, you're going to be taking all of our supplies. Well, that's how I want it to be. So it's very possible that that's how it gets when you get up to that level. But, just think about, I like to talk to my young trap stars because we have a lot of business acumen, but sometimes we get stuck in the trap. What can happen sometimes you get a plug, right? Sometimes your plug can be sold out. And now you sold out because you can't fool with no other crew, no other body, because your plug has made it a rule. You just fool with me. If you get caught messing with anybody else, you're in trouble. So it's very possible that you get in these situations and it's kind of hard. It's kind of like now if you lose your, leading, plug, you're just shit out of luck. Now you're in an industry that's lost 80, 90% of your business. And this person is moving on. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look to see how we can get into this, because if the tariffs do, or here, let me see what the Don Farrell guy was about to say. Commercials. This may be a good, let me see.
Proceeding in respect of wine, we haven't suspended that application, and my guess is that the decision is not very far away. And of course, we're extremely confident that the 220% tariffs that were applied to Australian wine will be removed. But again, we're happy to have talks with the Chinese government in respect of that case. We always saw the barley application and the suspension of the barley application before the WTO as a template for dealing with the wine issue. So I think now's the opportunity to have some further talks with the Chinese government. We want all of the impediments removed that currently affect our.
You think twice about calling somebody a racial slur again. But seriously, it was a pandemic. There was a lot going on. When something like that is happening in a house, we can't just point the finger at anybody. Are there some football games that we can pretty much point at one person and say, man, you lost the game for the team? Yeah, but you also have to remember it's one step after the other from 52 different players. You kind of have to say, hey, we're all in this together. And let's not go around trying to point fingers at, whose fault it is. But let's try to get the problem resolved. And then we could talk shit later. It sounds like they were talking shit at the height of it. And when you throw somebody's name under the bus, you can really mess up their business. What is it? Smut, tort, dis something. I don't know. Disinfringement of character or something. I can't remember, but So that was the Australia Trade Minister Don Farrell, who's extremely confident that tariffs on Australian wine to China will be raised soon. And it sounds like it was up to about 220%. So, let's see what China's saying, if that's a possibility. Is China going to lift tariffs on Australia? Okay. After 3 years, this is CNBC. China lifts anti-dumping tariffs on Australia barley after 3 years. Okay, so there's a few things. Okay, so we can get past this. We can get past this. And now let me see. I don't even know what anti-dumping is. I think it's putting trash in places or something. I don't know. Okay, so what? Sorry, my bad. I need something to hold this phone up. Sorry. What Australia wine brands are publicly traded in the United States? Not Austrian. Oh gosh, Australian. Okay, what Australian wine brands are publicly traded? Is ASX one? But see, I don't even know if that's going to be the company to provide. You know what I'm saying? Investors might consider a retail stock like Endeavour Group a wine stock because the company owns popular brands like Dan Murphy, BWS Bottle Shop Networks. However, given the diversified nature of Endeavour Group operations, it also operates pubs, hotels, in addition to other retail liquor brands. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at ADV. Endeavour Group. There's also Treasury Wine Estates, ticker symbol TWE, biggest pure play winemaker on ASX. Is this the Australian Stock Exchange? Because I'm trying to get. Oh, I need to be in the United States. Let's see if they trade on the United States. Maybe they have an ADR. That's an American deposit receipt. Essentially, I don't know how to describe it, but the banks or brokerage company or whatever, they go out and they purchase the stock from Australia, and then essentially you get to trade on these receipts. They typically, I guess, to an extent, move at the same rate as the underlying stock, but you also have to remember there's also the fees and everything. So, you're not exactly going to get, like a 1-for-1 ratio. Let me take a look. Paramount's kicking my ass. ASX. Now, ASX here is a semiconductor company. ASE Technology Holding. Okay, so I need to find wine brands that trade in America, or at least have an ADR. So I'm going to look that up. 6 wine stocks to consider in 2023. Of course, LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, Constellation Brands, SVB Financial Group, Treasury Wine Estates, the Duckhorn Portfolio. Oh, Duckhorn. I like Duckhorn. Vintage Wine Estates. I kind of want to take advantage of this whole Australian I'm gonna take a look into this and see if let me try again. Australian wine ETF or something. Let me see. ABRDN. Is this traded in America? No, that's traded in Australia. All right, so we'll definitely take a look at that. kind of the play I would take with this is probably buying, let's say, for example, I'm going to go ahead and trade this. I find a company or an ETF or something that trades in America. Also, it has options. The way I'm going to go approach it is I'm probably going to buy a call that's like a year out, a leap, and it's probably going to be in the money. Okay, so I'm going to try to get it in the money, as far in the money as I can afford. That's actually realistic. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but in the money, pay the premium. Yeah, because then the premium's going to be high as shit. So I'm going to try to bring that premium down and try to get something that's more realistic. And then I'm going to go probably sell calls on it. I believe this is essentially, as I've been researching, I believe it's called a poor man's covered call. And that's what I am. So that's probably how I'll approach it. In the fact of what happens a lot with news is people see the news and they say, oh my gosh, I want to jump on that. The thing is about news is it takes years to actually get implemented. It could take 1 year, it could take 2 years, it could take 3 years. So you're trading on news that's not even going to go into effect until next year. And you're sitting there looking at your stock wondering why is it going down with all this fantastic news. You get out of it and a year later the stock pops. It's how it always happens. It's because the information didn't catch up with the news. The news came out and now we got to let things implement. I mean, let's just take Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade. That deal was done, I don't even know when, but now 3 years later, it's finally getting done. Now it may be the right time to invest in a company like Charles Schwab. Let's see what Charles Schwab's ticker's doing. Because once they finally get everybody integrated and everything taken care of, and once they get all the accounts, now Charles Schwab should have a pretty good revenue for, I guess the fourth quarter. Let's check Charles Schwab. Ticker. What's Schwab's ticker? Excuse me. Charles Schwab. Okay. Ticker symbol SCHW, dropping at the end of market on Friday, October 27th, 2023, which is approximately 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looks like Schwab dropped approximately about 2.55%. So, this may be a good opportunity to take advantage of Schwab, considering that we know that the integration of TD Ameritrade clients is almost done. And I don't know how much, let me see real quick, how much money is Charles Schwab going to get from Ameritrade customers? I don't know if I asked that correctly. Approximately, let me see. Charles Schwab Corporation, TD Ameritrade, announced that they entered into a definitive agreement for Schwab to acquire TD Ameritrade in an all-stock transaction valued at approximately $26 billion. Now that was, when did this happen? This happened, I believe, around 2019. I could be wrong. 2020. I could be wrong though. Yeah, I think that was around November 2019. So, it's about to be 2024, and it's just now, like, getting completed. So now might be the good opportunity. Yeah, it's gonna increase Schwab, possibly. I'm not sure, but maybe 8 trillion, which is humongous. Put that in huge competition as a financial company. So now, that news came out in 2019. Here, real quick, let's just go ahead and take a look at what happened. I'm just going to do very basic. Very basic. I'm not even going to go into depth. I kind of do want to go into a little bit more depth. Let me see if if I can get, where's my Bollinger Band? Put that up. Let me go back about 3 years. What else can I put up? Okay, I'm gonna start there. I'm just gonna work with these Bollinger Bands. I found another FIB or something. I don't even really know how to use it yet. Chart style. I want to do candles. Comparison events. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. All right, 3 years ago. All right, so the news, let's say, dropped around. Here, let me go 5 years. The news dropped around November 2019. All right, so what happens? Initially, it dropped up until about March of 2020. And then it takes off. From March of 2020, it was about $28. Then it took off to about January 2022. Went up to about $95. So everybody traded on that wonderful news of Charles Schwab taking over TD Ameritrade. People are wondering what's going on, with the revenues and everything. And then from about January 2022, it's been now trading on the lower end, dropping down to about 50. So yeah, you trade on the news. Yeah, you made a bunch of money. And then next thing you know, let's just say so again, you got your people out there that say, oh yeah, we're going to trade on this. You know what I'm saying? We know what's going to happen. People are going to try to start buying the stock. It's going to go crazy. And then we're going to get out and we're going to leave them holding the bag. And now this person's been in Schwab for 3 years wondering what's going on. Weren't they supposed to be getting TD Ameritrade? Well, it's not done until November 6th or 7th, 2023. So a lot of times with the news, all right, Australia is about to get their 220% punitive tariffs taken off. Well, that may not be completed until January 2025 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because then you got to remember, you got to get the tariffs off. Then you got to start getting the deals again with the wine brands. And then you got to start getting the imports and everything up and running again. Then you got to get the consumers buying, get it in their hands. And this whole process could take a year. So you get the call a year from now, same another company I'm looking at, Boeing, we get the calls leap a year from now, because there's a whole lot that's going to go on. Now, Schwab, this may be the time to trade based off of, because now they got everybody integrated. Now everybody can start working on getting used to the Charles Schwab platforms. And, then they said we're going to bring Thinkorswim back. So maybe people won't have to adjust so much, and then we're good. We're good. And then Schwab should hopefully bring in revenues, based off of transaction fees, and then people getting personal advice services and all these different things. And we should see a pretty good revenue increase with Charles Schwab soon. So Charles Schwab, I probably will start taking a look at that. I'm actually going to write that down because that's probably going to be one of my next plays. If you want to hear some of my next plays, Marathon Oil that I'm taking a look at. I'm taking a look at JD. Is this Baba? Taking a look at Baba. I'm looking at China right now. I'm looking at Tencent. China's been getting slaughtered, and it's only a matter of time. I know people say stay away from China. They still got a lot of stuff that they're working out. Neo, and it's right at those moments when people say stuff like that. What was the other one? Charles Schwab. What was it? What was that again? What is it? I think it's like, I'm just going to put CSWH. Was that it? It's right at those moments where it's like, because seriously, no offense to anybody and their fantastic trading styles and experiences with Charles Schwab and Wells Fargo and Goldman Sachs and everything. SCHW. Oh, I was close. SCHW. Okay. So, but no offense. I'm not even saying I'm an expert, but there's a lot of individuals that are fantastic stock traders. They have all the information. Oh, don't invest in this company here. Oh, invest in this company here. Oh, don't invest in this company here. Oh, invest in this company here. Oh, short this stock. Oh, buy this stock. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Bonds, 5% interest, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. You barely started investing last year, and now all of a sudden, you're walking around like you're Michael Douglas. All right, let's slow it down. So right when you got your people, okay, last thing real quick. So there's a theory called the odd lot theory. Okay, so when you purchase stocks, not saying you're supposed to, but they're supposed to be purchased in lots. Lots are 100 shares. So when you see the stock price is 50, times that by 100. And that's really the amount of shares you're supposed to be ordering in, times how many lots you want to get. So the stock really isn't 50. It's really, what's 50 times 100? Like 5,000? So you really should see 5,000, and you order a lot, and then that way you can start trading contracts on your lot, So an odd lot is when you don't purchase in 100. You purchase 25, 50, whatever. That's an odd lot. So there's this odd lot theory. These are people who really don't know what the fuck they're doing. They see news, they trade on good news, they sell on bad news, blah, blah, blah. These are the people that sharks or even big fish are trying to take advantage of. We're essentially saying, okay, what do you think the odd lot is going to do? People who are buying stocks, one stock here and there. I'm buying one share of stock at a time. I'm about to try to purchase one share of SPY. This is not advice or anything. SPY, I can't remember. I was looking at it yesterday. It's about $400. I can't purchase a lot, but what I can do is start purchasing one share here, one share there, reinvest, you do the DRIP program, dividend reinvestments, and try to get it up to 100. Now, once I get a lot, then I can start selling contracts on my lot. Now, there's also eligibility rules that you may be eligible to be able to not have to own the underlying. There's this theory, control everything, own nothing. That you may not even have to own the underlying once you get up to eligibility level 3, 4, whatever. But essentially, these odd lot motherfuckers don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're talking about. Go purchase your one share of whatever stock it is and just go live your life. So not saying that that's true. That's how some people, theorize the odd lot people. And they essentially, again, are just trying to say, okay, what do you think market sentiment is? Okay, everybody's going to be buying because they're going to be like, oh, I'm so excited about the news that just came out and I'm going to buy it. Or everybody's going to try to get out. And all these people are just trying to figure it out. And the whole time while they're doing that, they're setting up the power play. They're like, okay, bet. We're going to do it short term. It's going to be bullish. Long term, we're going to go real bullish. Or short term is bearish. Long term, we're going to go bullish. Or whatever it is. We're just going to go ahead and get this short term, this money because we know this is what people are going to be doing. And then long term, we're going to be setting up the big play. So that's kind of my approach to a few of these things that I'm going to be looking at, a few things I'm working on. I'm about to get to it. I'm going to take a little break, get something to eat. Before I go, I just want to say thank you to anybody and everybody who decided to stop by and kick it with your mans. I appreciate it. I'm Chairman, and this is House of Barf. Blah! Introducing the Listener Support Program, fueling the future and quality of House of Barf. Dear loyal listeners, at the House of Barf, we strive to bring you the most engaging, informative, and entertaining content every day into the world of business, accounting, regulation, and finance. We strive to provide you with expert knowledge, practical tips, and thought-provoking discussions to help you excel in your financial endeavors. We are dedicated to fostering meaningful conversations, sharing valuable insights, and creating a community of like-minded individuals who are passionate about business, accounting, regulation, and finance. Producing high-quality content requires dedication, resources, and effort from a talented team of one, me, but in the future, hopefully I'll have a team. That's why we are excited to introduce our listener support program. This initiative allows you, our cherished audience members, to play a pivotal role in shaping the future and the content and assuring House of Barf's sustainability. In the future, becoming a supporter, you will be able to enjoy a range of exclusive benefits. Benefits that I'm hoping to be able to bring eventually: early access to episodes, access to episodes that are not, public, that are not accessible to everyone, possibly even create better content. And then all those mistakes I make, maybe I'll put them in a separate episode. You'll be able to get some behind the scenes stuff, and other exclusive things such as merchandise. Possibly I have, a children's book coming out, may be able to offer that. Your support goes directly towards enhancing the quality of our content, expanding our reach, our research, and investing in new resources and technology to bring you even better experiences. Your contribution will help us continue to deliver thought-provoking discussions, captivating stories, and insightful I didn't mean to say that. Maybe in the future, may possibly interview someone that will keep you engaged and inspired. Join us in shaping the future of House of Barf by becoming a supporter today. Your generosity empowers us to keep our conversations alive and ensures that we can contribute to provide valuable content to audiences around the United States and hopefully in the future of the world. To support us, simply visit podcasters.spotify.com. Then you can get to House of Barf. Also, it is on Spotify. And support this podcast and become a supporter, and choose a membership tier that aligns with your preferences. Every contribution, no matter how small or how big, makes a meaningful impact and is deeply appreciated. Thank you for being an essential part of our journey. With your support, we can reach new heights and create content that truly resonates with you, our incredible listeners. God bless. Happy listening. I'm Chan Man. This is House of Barf. Again, if you would like, you can visit podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/Chan-man7. And you can go to support this podcast and become a supporter today. Thank you. You can also reach me at c287gph@gmail.com. Thank you again. You have a wonderful day. God bless.